Okay, let's now discuss about the map function. In JavaScript, map is an array method. By applying it a given to each element of original array, it does not modify the original array. Implement that map function. This is the syntax. Okay, and this one is the definition for the array. This one is the callback function. Now, let me implement. So in the above, we can see here I have the users array and users containing an object of an particular user. Okay, there are the list of the users and the list of the users having their key value. Okay, now what we need the array. Instead of array, we have the array that is users, right? Users dot map. So users dot map callback function. Let me provide the callback function, and it gives us user, the single user, and user dot role. So if I do this and store into one new variable, let me console the roles from user. This is the role, users role, right? What are the users types of users roles? There are developer, designer, manager, and the interns. Those we are getting right now. Now, in this way, now you can also modify that key values, like just adding to uppercase. See, we are getting that value, right? And this is the simple definition for the map method. Disadvantage while applying this could be always iterates through the entire array, and even if the partial results fails. And the best use case could be transforming the data, like doubling the numbers, converting object keys. And also the best why we use it, actually it is for the immutable transformation and readable syntax. Okay, now for the filter method, just discuss the map. And now filter method. For the filter method, it creates a new array containing only elements of the original array that passes a specific condition. It does not modify the original array. And for the for that practical syntax, this one is the syntax, and the syntax hold the same array, and then there could be the filter. Okay, and the filter, then there is a callback function and this argument. And now let me apply this. Our array is users, that filter, and we get the single user, right? Single user. And if you don't have multiple line of the code, then we don't need to pass this and then return the function. Okay, we just can directly pass the value. So let me add the users as a user dot active users. Now this will give the active user. Let me copy this, Ctrl X, and then paste it here, and let me store that instead of role. Let me store that in let const active user, which equals to I have stored in the active user variable, and place it here, and let me show. See, we are getting the active users. Only these three objects passed sufficient condition, right? So we are getting this. And the merit could be extract items that passes a given condition. And also disadvantage can be inefficient for large data set when the multiple conditions are needed to meet, because it will check object by object, it will check whole array, right? So because of that, it will take the more time. And the best use could be the narrow down the data, extracting the active users or the products in stocks. Why it use declarative and concise for the data filtering. Now the find method. The find method is a method of array instance that returns the first element in provided array that satisfy the provided testing function. If the no value satisfy the testing function, it returns the undefined. Okay. And for this also holds the same syntax. Let me copy and paste. This one is for the find method. Okay, find method. Now let me get the find method for we have the array users that find, and the user, it will give me the single user, right? It will give me the single user. This one is the callback function, and user dot is greater than or equal. Let me add greater than, and let me store it into the new variable const the first user. Okay, first user, and console log the first user. Now let me comment this one and check. You can see here we are getting the first user, right? And if the condition does not satisfy, let me give it to the 1. See, let me less than 1, it's showing the undefined. Now married could be it returns the first matching it based on condition, and demerits could be stop searching after the first match, which may not be sufficient. And best use case could be locating a single object user by ID, and it can be used to simplify find one items from the array. Now we have the reduce method, and the reduce method combines all the element in an array in a single value by applying a function. It processes the array of one item at a time, starting with the initial value. Let's suppose, imagine you have a box of numbers and you want to add all of them together into one final number. Reduce takes its numbers one by one and combines them into your results. Okay, let me bring out the syntax, and also the syntax holds the same. Sorry, copy and then paste. Now we pass here reduce, and in this argument it holds the initial value. Okay, it holds the initial value. And now let me get the sum of the age. Okay, sum of the age. For that, users dot data users dot reduce. We have the two argument. One is the callback holds the two argument. One is accumulator and another is current value, and the accumulator will accumulate all the results. Let me for the simply add the sum, because it will hold the sum value, and another value let's as a users. Okay, particular user, single users. And now sum is accumulator, okay, which holds the sum, and users, because this will get the single user value, right? Single user object dot age, we will get the particular age of that single object. Now if we now what we need to do, we need to provide the initial value, right? If we need to pass the initial value, then let's suppose the value is starting from 0. Now let me add it to the new variable const total age. Okay, console.log total age from age. Okay, forget about the spelling. I think there are several spelling mistake. Total age. Okay, now you can see total age we are getting 105, right? The sum of all those numbers. And the advantage could be accumulate the value to provide a single output. Example, sum, average. In that case we can use it. And for the disadvantage, it can be complex for beginners, and overuse may harm readability. Okay, because it's combined in the same accumulators and then adding the values from the current users, current value, and then the sum of the value. So that could be the problems, but I think it's very important to produce the single value. And the best use case could be the aggregation task, calculating total cells. We can use it for the versatile and the powerful for the combining data. Let's discuss about the ForEach. And ForEach method is used to loop through each element in an array and perform an action such as logging or modifying the external variables. Unlike map, it does not return a new array. It's only returning the code on each item. So and also the syntax holds the same. In this syntax, we'll get the callback function, and inside the callback function we'll pass this arg. Okay, this arg means whenever we will pass execute, and this one is for each, and for this for each users, we have the users collection, users dot for each. In the for each, it will provide us one each user element, user, the callback, and console log user dot name. Let me get user dot name. Okay, now you can see the username. We get the username. And advantage could be iterates over the item for the side effects, logging, API calling, and the disadvantage could be don't return a new array or allowing chaining, and it is best to use performing the actions without modifying an array. I think we use it the straightforward for the side effects. And use of ForEach when you need to perform an actions but don't need any result, logging or API calls. Use map when you need to perform the data and get a new array, doubling a numbers or converting the string. So that could be the better difference between the ForEach and the map. I think you got my point. Now we have the another method called sum. And sum method of array instance test whether at least one element in an array passes the test implementation by the provided function. It returns true if in the array it finds an element for which the provided function returns true. Otherwise it returns false. It does not modify the array. Now, and inside the sum, there we get the users, right? We get the user particular user, and does not satisfy the users that active, that means false, right? So if the false, what could be the result? You can also think about this. Const is inactive, is active, and console log the is inactive users. Okay, from inactive users. Let me comment this line for now. And now you can see here the user inactive, the false. There is only one user inactive false, so we are getting the one user inactive false, right? Advantage could be it checks if at least one item meets the condition. Demerits could be that does not return which meets the condition, and the best use case could be validating the data, checking if the product is in stock. We use it for the effective quick validation. Now let me dive into the every method of the JavaScript. Every method checks if all the elements in an array passes the specific condition. If every element is satisfy the condition, it returns true. Otherwise, it returns false. Okay. So let me grab this for the sum for every. Okay. Now, if you provide this, also holds the same condition every. And let me check whether the role exists or not. Okay, all has roles, and this all has roles means sum every user has this specific role. Okay, user roles exist. Now let me comment this and let me check I think we missed to pass the variable. Let me check the condition. If the role exists false, right, in the every condition. But sorry, I think missed something. Rails has active. Sorry, we haven't passed the role. So see, every condition satisfies, right? Because this first condition also satisfy, because the role, it has the role developer, it has the role designer, it has the role manager, and each object has its own role. So because of that, in the average, it's getting true, right? If one of the condition is not satisfied, it will return false. So its advantage could be checks if all the items meet the condition, and disadvantage could be stop checking at first, figure may not provide the complete insight. Okay, and the best use could be the verifying the dataset integrity, and we use it to the clean syntax for all item pass logic. Okay, now IndexOf finds the index of an items of the particular array. Okay, now let me quickly create one array. Let me copy and paste from there, and this one is our array. Okay, and if you want to know the index of the array, what you can do, fruits dot index of banana. Okay, index of banana, and index of, let me hide this, and let me see, index of banana is 1. Okay, and it could be best for locating the simple values like indexing of the numbers or the string, and also easy to understand for the simple case. Okay, for sort method, basically sort method is used to rearrange the element of an array in the specific orders, either ascending smallest to largest, or descending largest to smallest. Customize it with a comparison function. Imagine you have a list of numbers or the names, and you want to organize them neatly, either from the smallest to largest or alphabetically. Sort does that for you. So now let's create the sort function. So we need the array dot sort, and where the compare function holds compare function. This is the basic syntax. Okay, now this is the basic syntax for this. Now let me arrange it. Now let me add users dot okay, to change the users as well. So because of that, let me add the split operator, copy the array, and sort a comma v, and a dot a's minus b minus a's dot a's. Okay, now let me console this. Let me hold this results in one variable, const sort by as, and copy this, console log sort by age. Let me comment this one for now. We are getting Daisy at first because we are sorting. The smallest value of the age is 22, so it's coming in the first, right? So the result, let me show you one function, how the compare function working, because I have explained you the working compare function, right? So let me show you one function quickly. This is the function, how it works actually in the behind the pictures. Okay, we are passing a comma v the value, right? The callback is taking this value. Compare function, we are passing a comma v. So if you go to with the function, I think you got clear with this function. So it will just switch the value. Okay, switch the value. Once it not satisfy the condition, it will change one by one and switch the value. Okay, So if you want sorting DSA tutorial also, you can let me know in the comment. I will help you for that. Okay. And at last, I think we have one remaining in there method. Let me check which is that. Sort and then the splice. So for the splice, this is also one important method of array instance. Changes the contents of an array by removing or replacing the existing elements and or adding the new element in place. Okay, let me show you quickly how it works. And this one is for the sorting. I guess you understand the sorting. Why you in the sorting we use this? Because we don't need to override this user, because this will in the sorting will override the users. Okay, so because of that I just copy the users. So for this also we just copy the users and the users and users, and let me add this splice. User data users, we are getting data, and user data dot splice. And so see here, okay, we have two items in there. Let me at first discuss for the syntax, because this will take the array and the start position and delete count. Okay, the start position and the delete count, and this array dot splice holds the start and the delete count. Let me show you quickly, because the splice take the start count means let me pass this start as 1 and the delete count you want 1. Let me add those and let me console the user data. Okay, from the splice. So you can see here we have only 3 data right now. So what we have done right now, we have removed the first condition, that is Alice. First condition we have been given the ID as 1, index 1, and then the first position. So this remove the Alice's. So how many delete count we need to pass? We have passed only 1 and then the first position. So because of that the splice is working fine. And so the splice modify the array by adding or removing the elements, and the best use case could be the dynamic modifying, like adding or removing items, and best to use it handy for direct edits. Okay, best to use because it's handy for directly array edits. So I guess you got all the array methods clearly, and if there is anything confusing then please let me know.